What's up, guys? Welcome to another Ask Matt live Q&A. Let me know how the audio visual looks for those of you who are here live. If you're watching the replay, go ahead and skip a few minutes ahead. But before you do that, make sure you're following me on Instagram. Doing a lot more over there lately, so get in there. Other than that, though, just giving it a minute as everyone rolls in here, and then we'll get started on questions. Hope everyone is doing super good. I've been busy doing a lot of new things, a lot of new stuff going on, a lot of stuff you guys will be seeing and hearing about more soon. Just been busy. Let's see what's going on in the chat. How's the audio and visual? I messed it up last time, so those of you who are here right now, let me know in the chat how it looks, how it sounds. Did we fix everything that I screwed up last time? Should look pretty good. From what I can see, I think we're good. Sweet, sweet. Awesome. Well, I mean, that's it as far as updates. I'll get the questions going in just a second. Everything good, just busy, just crazy stuff going on. I don't even know what updates to give. I feel like I haven't been vlogging much. That's just because I'm really busy with some stuff. But I expect that in a couple weeks I'll go really hard and have videos like multiple times per week, at least a lot of stuff. So, you know, start shooting me your video ideas or what you want to see more of, what you want to see less of. You know, all of that. I'm always here. I'm always listening. Always, you know, go ahead, leave comments, all that, because I get to them. Anyways, let's see what's up here. Matt, one question I want to get into the pet accessories in FBA. What are your suggestions? Is it gated? As far as I know, that is not a gated category. I don't sell in that category, so I'm not 100% sure. But as far as I know, pets is not a gated category. So I don't think you have to worry about anything, to be honest. I love the pet market in general. I think that it's something that people are super passionate about. It works super well for building out a brand and a product line because there are an endless number of other products that you could offer the same customer base. So I love it on that regard. And yeah, I don't think you'd have any gated issues. Of course, you know, you have all the issues you'd usually have with choosing a product. Is the sales volume there? Is the competition the right amount? Everything that we always want to consider. Yeah. Car Watcher says we want to see biohacking. Maybe there will be some more videos about that to come. I know most of you guys are here for Amazon FBA type of content, but I'd love to talk about other things, you know. Sometimes it can, you know, just talking about Amazon details 24/7. I've been in this a while, so I'm always down to talk about something else. Before was HD, now it's 4K. Yeah, this should look pretty sweet. I messed it up last time, but it was just some settings that I had tweaked because I was doing some recordings and stuff. Question, do you need made in China on all private label products? Not if it's not made in China, then no, you don't. But yeah, if it's made in China, for customs reasons, you actually legally need to have the country of origin on your product. So whether that is China, Taiwan, India, the US, you want to have the country of origin on the product packaging. That is one of the few things that is required by customs. So one of the things that you're for sure going to want to have on your packaging, regardless of all the other, you know, little things that we may or may not want just based on design choices and things like that. But we need to have the country of origin. Question regarding product launches. I don't understand how to rank up when competing with others. I've seen some sellers rank up insanely quickly. If it's insanely quickly, they might be doing something that they shouldn't be doing. You know, I personally don't try to play the game of insanely quickly. I'm just trying to play the game of gradually increasing my sales volume, gradually increasing my rank, and building something that is going to be long-term sustainable and successful. So I'm not about the overnight. I'm not about the one simple trick, the one hack to tripping the algorithm. That said, the thing that leads to rank is sales. So you just need to do legitimate advertising, have a great product, get sales going, and the ranking will happen. Ultimately, ranking shouldn't matter exactly. All you really care about is sales. So, and rank is usually going to happen as a result of sales. So that's kind of the way that I think about it. How's crushing it? It is solid. I've read like 100 pages or so. I mean, I consume so. My favorite Gary Vee thing is for sure Daily Vee, so that's like my go-to. But book is good. Yeah, I mean, I'd recommend it. What is the best way to do product research without having to use the Jungle Scout web app? The only reason, well, I mean, the truth is, however you want to get into the funnel at the beginning, I don't care. Meaning it could be the web app, it could be things you personally have experience with, it could be something somebody's kid is using and you see it, something you see on Instagram, something you see at Target. You just need to get in there, and then you need to do tons of digging and looking at similar products, looking at other products, doing new searches, looking at storefronts. All of that is where you'll really find the products. Now, what matters more than how you find a product idea is actually evaluating it within the constraints of what makes a good product for Amazon and what is an opportunity on Amazon. You know, you could come up with 1 billion product ideas a day. That doesn't matter. What matters is if they actually fit the mold for what's going to be successful on Amazon. So I'm less interested in how you discover the product. I'm more interested in how you evaluate it. How would you price a bundled product? Would you base it off the average of both products and increase it for the added value? I could give a long answer to that because how long do I want to go with this one? Because I would not bundle if it's two things people sell separately, personally. Because then you're limiting the market to people that wanted to buy item A and people that wanted to buy item B. And what if only 5% of people that wanted A also feel like shelling out the money for B? The time when you should do a bundle is when it's an obvious value add, just makes the product a sweeter deal. But you shouldn't be like limiting your market to now people who only wanted to buy both products, because that's only going to be a fraction of either market. So I wouldn't just bundle two products together that sell separately and then increase the price, because they could just buy both separately. And the reality is a lot of people just want to buy one of them. That said, bundling is a great way to stand out. If there's a bundle, if there's an accessory that just makes it a no-brainer. That's the way I like to think about it. Is it a no-brainer, makes this product better, makes it better value, then go ahead and bundle. And as far as how to price it, it's just, what makes sense in the landscape of your niche. Look at your competitors, see where you fit in, where is your value. If you have a better value, price a little bit higher. What other books do you read? To be honest, I've been so slacking on reading. I've just been too busy the last year or two. I read a lot more at my earlier stages of business. I'm hoping to get into like a more chill place in my own business. Like right now I'm on more hustle mode. As I transition back into more chill mode, I'd love to pick up some more books, but I love Tim Ferriss books. Some early ones for me were, of course, The 4-Hour Workweek by Tim Ferriss, The Personal MBA. That was a big one for me early on, just taught me a lot about business in general. Millionaire Fastlane. What have I read more recently? Honestly, more recently, not that many. Mostly, I'm more into podcasts and YouTube lately, but I love to read. I just don't have the time. Do you sell in Amazon Japan? When is the right time to launch the second product? Okay, so that's two very different questions. Do I sell in Amazon Japan? No, but that's just an area that I could absolutely work on expanding to, as well as other Amazon platforms. When is the right time to launch a second product? I would say as soon as you have the cash flow such that you're not going to compromise your first product. You don't want to launch a second product when it means you're going to start going out of stock of your first product and things like that. So, but as soon as you have the additional cash flow and your first product is doing well and you're comfortable enough to launch a second product, then you should as soon as possible. When is the right time to start an LLC? So technically you should start it before you even start. Now that said, that would be my like official sort of legal advice would be you should have your LLC started from the beginning. Most of you are not. So the truth is you can start as an individual, you can change it all over later, but as soon as you're serious, as soon as you know this is something you're gonna stick with and you're seeing sales rolling in, then you should definitely do it ASAP. I got really behind, so I'm going to the start of the chat. So if I missed your question, just keep asking. I'm going to the what's current. Question, Matt, if I put a keyword on the title, do I also need to put it on my ranking keywords as well, or no? No, if it's in the title, it should already be indexed as a keyword, so you shouldn't need to repeat those keywords in your backend search terms. What is a good free service to track competitor ASINs? I don't know. I don't know of a free one to do it. And And also, yeah, I'm not quite sure, to be honest. Let's see. Have you used storage warehouses in the US instead of Amazon FBA to save storage costs? How do you predict inventory levels? Personally, that's something that I should probably do to save some money, and then just ship in stages. Typically, even at my level, I've always been just scrambling to have enough of inventory in a lot of cases. So I've rarely been in a situation where I wish I had done that. But as far as how I predicted, I basically just, there's no science to it. So there's inventory projection software, but in my personal belief and just experience is that there are so many like other variables, like with seasonality and stuff like that. So you can't just be like, oh, well, I sold 100 units a month for the past 3 months, therefore I'm going to sell 100 every month, because some products might sell, 10x in December, or maybe it sells in the summer but not the winter. So you have to just do your best to sort of project out how much inventory you're going to need and order accordingly, and honestly just do your best to handle that. Does this sound like a reasonable opportunity to get into a higher competition niche if I can offer a version of the product that fixes the discrepancy? Of course. I mean, you just have to realize with going into a higher competition niche is that it's higher risk, higher reward. So I'll do that all the time. In some instances, I'll go into a low competition, low risk, low reward market that I think is just an easy win. On the other hand, I might take a bigger risk to attack a bigger market, but if it works, the opportunity is bigger. So yeah, I mean, you shouldn't shy away from a competitive niche. You just need to realize what you're actually getting into. Is this like an easy getting my feet wet type of product, or am I really going for it, risking some money and really trying to attack a big market? Just two different scenarios. What would you do if your supplier can't fix an issue with the product, but the sales still look good? Should I still go for it? I would ask, how big is that issue? If everybody's already selling it and it's mostly solid, then that can be okay. Now, you don't want to sell something that's just terrible. So if all the products out there are rated 2 stars, then that just might be not worth getting into, because you're just going to have too many issues with returns and fighting with Amazon to keep it open and stuff like that. But if it's a product that you just think has potential to be improved, but it would be really difficult to do so, then, and maybe it's like a 4-star average, but other people are selling it and you think it makes sense on all of their terms, then, sell that product, but do something else to improve the perception of it. The branding, maybe just having better customer service can even be a differentiation point. Or, just using higher quality materials. Like, it doesn't need to be something that's actually dramatically changing the product necessarily. I found a product on Alibaba. How can I find out if it is patented? I can't find it on Amazon. USPTO.gov and Google Patents. Now, ultimately, even if you can't find it there yourself, the only way to really be sure is to talk to a patent attorney and have them do a search for you. Because, that's really the only sure way. But of course, most likely you'll just try to do it yourself. And so I would look at those 2 sites and search everything and dig through it and see what you can find. How do I find manufacturers in China? Alibaba, for the most part. When you're new to Amazon and use personal EIN, can you switch later to your company EIN? Yes, you can switch later, but technically you're piercing the LLC veil, like the corporate veil, which is why technically I would say to have your LLC from the beginning. But yes, you can absolutely switch over. That said, do be aware that you don't want to change your information in Amazon all the time. Because that could trigger Amazon thinking that there's some sort of fraud going on. So, try to make like one change ever, meaning like change from being an individual to an LLC, and then that's that. But don't go trying to change it every month or something. When are you going to start doing live tour? And if so, do you think you'll come to Miami, Florida? A live tour, I don't know. I don't even know what that would be. I guess that's probably further down the road, but I would love to do some traveling and do some casual meetups in places. And honestly, Miami is pretty high on my list. I was there like 6 or 9 months ago or something. I like Miami, and I could see going back maybe sometime in the next year. So, or let me know where else you guys are. Where are you guys? Where are most of you? Let me know. Looking for some good questions. Does Amazon do only keywords for backend and create phrases, or do you need to use keywords as phrases for better ranking? I think I understand what you're asking. You're asking if when you put it into the backend, if it matters like the ordering or just the individual words. And my understanding is that the individual words are just considered essentially by themselves. That said, I would probably put them into an order that makes somewhat sense if they are two words that go together, because you might as well do that, but shouldn't be necessary. Uh-oh, are we having issues? Let me give it a second. Sorry guys, hang in there. Can you guys hear me still currently? I don't know if it's just my internet or what. All right, I think we're good. Sorry about that, guys. I'm gonna just continue on. Might have glitched out for just a second. Just launched my first product. Should I start PPC right away or get some reviews first? I strongly, strongly, strongly believe that you should start it from day one, always, no matter what. Have you heard anything about a $3,000 fee Amazon is charging to get ungated in topical subcategory? I think I saw something about that, but I am not well versed in that. So if somebody else knows more about that, leave it in the comments. If you're watching the replay, leave it in the chat right now. But I don't sell in that category, so I'm not very well versed in it. But sounds possible. Best times and days to run PPC, 24/7. Do you sell on German Amazon? No, I don't, but I probably should be. If you're in Germany, I would say for sure give it a try because you have less barriers to entry, and you can also sell in the US. For me, I just haven't got to expanding over there. My first order failed inspection yesterday because the logo peels off when they stick a tape on it. Do you think that's a big problem? I think it would depend on your product. Only you can really tell me if that's a big problem. You know, if the logo coming off, I don't know, it just depends on your product, but that essentially means that the logo is most likely going to wear off over time, which may or may not matter for your product. I have launched 2 products with Jungle Scout. Want to try viral launch now for the upcoming products. What's your opinion on viral launch, product discovery, and launch service? So product discovery I haven't used because I already use Jungle Scout. Just a little overview right now. I am not like a tools junkie. Like I just think that like you could do all this stuff without tools for the most part. Like, so whether you use that tool or that tool, just use something. And I already use Jungle Scout, so I don't really have any incentive to go out there and spend my time testing out viral launch and seeing if it's better than Jungle Scout. They're both probably essentially the same. That said, the actual launch service, I've made a video before about my thoughts on viral launch and other launch services. Now we're not talking about the product discovery, but we're talking about the actual launch service. I am not into it, and I'm not into it because they operated before the review change over a year ago, and now they continue to operate after, just with a little bit of a tweak in the way that they phrase things. To me, I'm just not gonna risk it. I don't think it's for me. That said, at your own risk, go ahead and do it if you want to, but I think there are other ways you can essentially build your own viral launch. You know, I mean, there's nothing stopping you from doing essentially what viral launch is doing, except on your own. And using coupons is 100% cool. You should market, you should use coupons. I just don't want to use the same pool of buyers over and over and over again, especially when they are ones that used to be reviewers. Shout out to Hermosa Beach, thumbs up, here you find. Cool, thanks, yeah, love Hermosa. What is general launch strategy? I just kind of talked about that a little bit. Are your product rankings stable or not? And what do you do to keep your ranking because competition never stops? I would say they're relatively stable, but you know, I think this ties in with the PPC question, is that everyone always wants to figure out like how to turn off their PPC or something. It's like this weird, I don't know why I get this question so much, but and not that it's your specific question, but like your goal, you need to always be pushing. If pushing PPC got you to a certain rank, why would it ever even occur to you that you should just think, well, now let me turn everything off and just see if it sticks? Like, no, just keep doing it if it's working forever. So, I mean, wait, where did the question go? So yeah, I mean, that will keep them pretty stable if you keep pushing, you keep doing what got you there. But ultimately, no product is like, this is why I think everyone talking about how they found one product that makes X dollars per month or whatever, they don't know what they're talking about yet because they haven't been in the business long enough to know that that one product might get killed in 4 months. And that's why even if you have one product that's successful, you are so far from done. You need to constantly be adding new products. If I just had sat back with my first 3 products and been like, yay, I have this amazing business, now I'm just gonna sit here, do nothing, and look how great I am, I would have like no business right now. That's just stupid. So keep doing what got you there. Keep launching more products. That's what's got you there. Don't just rely on your first little success and think that you made it and then go sit on the beach for the rest of your life or whatever. Like, you have to keep going. Is it safe to give a supplier overseas the ASIN number? Would they list the product under their account? Is it better to do packing by myself and ship the product to myself? Nah, you're definitely being pretty paranoid there. I mean, of course, it's possible that the supplier is going to do that, but then they'd be ruining their relationship with you. You're never going to order from them again. That's just not going to happen. If that happens, it's very unlikely, and then you'll find a new supplier and go on from there. But that's not going to happen. Looking for some good questions. Are you using coupon sites for your promotions? No, I kind of already talked about that. You can do your own. You can do it on your own. You can run your own ads or build your own audiences. I don't use any service for that. What is your return on reviews versus sales? Do you include notes with your products to request feedback while giving customer maybe 10% off their next purchase? So I don't know my exact percentage because I don't monitor it, but I have lots of reviews on some products, and I just keep my email sequences rolling. You definitely should do an email follow-up sequence no matter what. And yeah, you can also have like an insert card in there. I would either do some sort of light promotion. Don't go super aggressive. Amazon doesn't want you doing that. Or neutrally ask for the review, but don't do both, because then you are potentially breaking Amazon's rules where you're giving them a coupon and you're asking them to leave a review. That is a little sketchy. So do one or the other, in my opinion. Future video, please do short video of you analyzing a product that you might do, hypothetically, talking about your thought progress while analyzing the pros and cons of it. Yeah, I might do that at some point, like kind of like an over the shoulder, like me evaluating a product or something like that. I mean, a lot of the products that I think are good ideas, I might do. So, I mean, who knows? Maybe eventually I might even do like a new brand or something in the public, like openly or something like that. I mean, I don't know. I'm definitely going to think about things like that later on. How quickly would Amazon block my account due to quality-related issues and returns? Product just failed inspection. Usually not your account for that. They're usually going to just probably take down the product. And that is usually fixable. When do you recommend making an Amazon account? When your first product is in a manufacturing state or ASAP? Does Amazon charge $40 instantly? I mean, I think they charge it instantly, but the $40 shouldn't be what makes or breaks it. I mean, that's too small to even think about. But I mean, I guess you should just start it as soon as possible. Why not? There's not really any reason not to, unless you were trying to postpone the $40 fee. But Chinese New Year is coming. What do you think about it? Are they still working, or do you think China is fully closed for a month? They'll be back in a couple weeks. It's not that big a deal. Like, if your entire business depends on the matter of a couple weeks, like, you might not have found an opportunity. It's just like a quick little window. It's just not that big of a deal. I don't know. It's just not that big of a deal. That's all I have to say about it. Just do your best. Just like, if you got your order in before the holiday, then good. And if you didn't, well, then now you're set back by a couple of weeks. I don't know what else to tell you. Really enjoyed your virtual assistant video. This has me open to asking for help to get my channel on YouTube started. That's awesome. Yeah, go for it. Definitely. Hiring virtual assistants. I mean, I need to do even more of it, but it just ups your game. It ups the way you even think about your business, just from getting yourself outside of the business and looking at it as the entrepreneur and not just being like, oh, I need to respond to messages all day or whatever. Like, but allowing you to build systems into your business, do things that scale beyond just you, setting up your business for, potentially being something that could be packaged and sold eventually. It's just, and VAs, it's such a great financial arbitrage too. It's just insane. If the supplier is telling you your product will ship door to door, but on the invoice it says X work, what do you recommend with this? So you want to have the invoice say the cost of the product, not including shipping, because you're going to pay duties and taxes based on the cost of the product. So that's correct. You don't want to be paying duties and taxes on the shipping. Do you do any wholesale or purely private label? Only my own products, only my own brands. Matt, I have an idea and I want to design my own product. Where to start from? I would probably start I would start more practically. Like, what I mean is that it's fun to have a big revolutionary idea, but that's expensive and it's unproven. So I would actually start with more practical. What can you do that is close to your idea that can provide cash flow? Can you launch a similar product that maybe making a small tweak to it, and then later, if you have cash flow from this profitable thing, then invest that into like full on research and development, engineering, and all of that. But why take that risk up front? I'm a much bigger fan of getting cash flow first and then doing the fun stuff once you have cash flow, because then you know that it works and you have the cash to play around. Are you still sourcing new products, or is YouTube your main focus now? Definitely still doing new products. I would love to this year launch some new brands, some for sure new products all the time. Yeah, I mean, I am not stopping by any means. That said, I'm at such a level that at least the past 6 months, I've expanded slower because I have so many products just to maintain stock and inventory. It's definitely shifted a little bit. In my second year of business, it was just like launch. And then it was like, whoa, we have a lot of products. Like, we need to keep these in stock. We need to prepare for Christmas. We need to just keep everything rolling. So, you go through different phases. But yeah, I mean, YouTube is a focus. I definitely want to focus really heavily on YouTube, but by no means is it like, oh, I'm quitting Amazon and starting YouTube. Like, why would I'm definitely not doing that. I want to keep growing on Amazon and e-commerce and then create content around that. And it's just going to fuel everything. What is a good program to automate my emails for orders on Amazon? Personally, I use Feedback Genius out of the simple reason that was the only one around when I needed one, and I've never bothered to switch, because why would I bother to switch? But I'm sure any of them are fine. What do you recommend crushing it? Yeah, it's solid. I'm 100 pages in. It's good. Buy it. Tell Gary Vee that I sent you. Video quality so clean. What up, Sammer? Thanks. How do you keep track of competition for 20 plus products? It doesn't look like passive income at all when you have lots of products. It's not passive income. It's not passive income. It's a business. And how do I keep track of competition? Either I don't. I worry about myself. I worry about expansion. I mean, I'm not just sitting here like, oh no, a new competitor popped up. At this point, I don't even know if a new competitor popped up. I'm just doing my thing, adding new products, keep on pushing on my existing ones. I have products with thousands of reviews. I don't care if a new competitor popped up. I'm going to squish them before I even notice them. I'm going to step on them before I even knew they were there. Got some interviews with VAs tomorrow. Any tips? It's been a while. I mean, I've had mine just on lock for so long, but yeah, what were some good questions? For me, something that was very important in hiring a VA was getting it across that I wanted them to be learning. So I didn't want them to be I'll tell them tasks and stuff. I wanted them to be wanting to improve their own skills. Like Francis with the editing and the photo stuff. He was willing to watch tutorials, which he would be paid for that time, to learn how to do a new skill. He wanted to improve. And I think that's huge. So communicating that. Like you don't want just like a robot who's just gonna like do exactly what you tell them to. Like you want somebody that's gonna like give you ideas and like be open to telling you when you're wrong. Like you don't want something like submissive. Like me with Francis, I'm always like, let me know if you have a better idea. Like, or like asking him, like, what do you think about this? Like kind of putting responsibility, like they might even be overwhelmed by it, but like giving them the freedom to like, you know, call you out and be like, that's stupid or something. Like you want somebody that is comfortable doing that. So like I like to ask questions in my interviews is like, will you tell me if you think I'm wrong about something? You know, because you want somebody that thinks for themselves. What's the minimum profit margin you would go for? I would say 30% minimum, and that is before ad spend. That's the way that I think about it. What is your definition of private label? Since you mentioned that just placing a label with little modifications is not enough, can you elaborate, brother? Yeah, so my definition of private label is the same as everybody else's. I mean, that is the definition of private label, is essentially putting your own logo and just labeling something as your own name. Now, what I have said is that I don't like the term private labeling because it just makes you, it just seems like a short, stupid, cheap path to like having a product. So you might be doing private label in the beginning, but you should have the mindset of being a product company. Like you are a like, I don't know, like you are a clock company. You're not just like private labeling this one clock that you found from China, like, but you need to like look at it from a different way. So, and that might mean eventually making more actual changes, designing your own clock, doing some other, I mean, that's a stupid example, but like, you know, doing something like that and not just purely being of the mindset that we're just going to slap shit together. And even though in the beginning it might be kind of, it's going to be private label in the beginning, but thinking of yourself as a product company, a brand, you know, you have actual products. Like you're not just like, it's just a mindset thing. But I think having that tweak just allows you to really grow the way that you think about your business. What's your educational background? Yeah, I went to college. I went to UCLA. I majored in psychobiology. So it's like a mix of psychology and biology. It's kind of like neuroscience, except less of the your toe is twitching and more of like the mind and psychology, but from a more scientific angle than just pure psychology. Clearly, I'm not actually using that for you know, a career, but I don't regret it. It was really interesting. I love reading about those subjects. You know, I spent my commute to school listening to business books and podcasts, and that is where I learned business. What other sellers do you respect? I mean, I know, like, do you mean like people that are known, like other YouTubers? I don't know, but I mean, I have like personal, in my own circle, people that you wouldn't know their names of that, you know, I have a couple friends that we've sort of in parallel built our businesses. And I know people that have businesses far larger than mine. And so those are people that are inspirational to me. And it just confirms my belief on product line and brand, because the only people I know that are doing this business at a very high level, they have strong brands and product lines. I'm not saying that you can't have a successful product in one category and then a second product in another category and a third one over there. You for sure can, but like thinking about yourself as a brand and a product line, like I said, be a product company. It all ties together, but that is what people are doing at scale. So those are the sellers that I really respect. The people that go on to, you know, build out audiences, build out their own funnels, build out their own Shopify stores, you know, get into retail. That's the stuff that really like inspires me. Not just like I said, I'm an Amazon seller, but don't think of yourself as an Amazon seller. Think of yourself as a product company. Sorry, looking for some questions. Brief intermission as I find a good one. Do each of your items have a different brand name, or do you brand them under just one name? I am researching 3 different products right now that I want to brand. Thanks for the videos. So I was kind of just touching on this. I have multiple brands, but you should definitely be looking for products that can expand horizontally, meaning you can find more products that will fit under that one brand name. Now, you can have more brand names over time, but you shouldn't just have 10 different products under 10 different brands. Hopefully by the time you have 10 products, maybe you have 2 brands or something like that. But yeah, I mean, as I've said, the expansion within the area you're already selling, you have leverage. You can leverage that existing success into your next product. And that's your advantage against new sellers, is you can piggyback off the back of your successes into the next product. And that's what a new seller won't be able to replicate. When you search for a product to sell, is there a number you stay above or below for the results shown? No, I don't even think about that. And that ties into something I always say, which is like the criteria. Like everyone's just out there repeating the same criteria over and over and over again. I don't even know what those criteria are. I don't think they make any sense. And that's because every single market is going to be different. What if this could be a long rant, but the point, all you need to understand is that every opportunity is different. If it makes sense as a business opportunity, then I'm cool with it. Whether that means there are one result, maybe there's no results, maybe nobody is selling this on Amazon, but I'm convinced that it will work. On the other hand, maybe there's 100 people selling it on Amazon, but the landscape still looks right such that I think I can break into it and get my piece, and everything in between. That's the truth. Hit me up some more questions. Let's get some last ones in before we start wrapping up. What part of California are you in? I am in Hermosa Beach, little beach town in the LA area. I have capital and want to launch 2 products at once with a total upfront investment of $2,000 per item. Is losing all my money really a risk if I'm diligent about my product research? The good thing about this is losing all of your money is pretty hard. The only way that you can lose all of your money is if you don't get an inspection of your product before it ships, and then you get sent a bunch of junk that is worthless and you can't sell. Now, the typical worst case scenario is you get your product, it doesn't sell as well as you could, and as well as you hoped, and over the next year, you sell out that inventory at break even or maybe a loss, but not at 100% loss. So worst case is typically not that you lose all your money. It might just be that maybe over the course of a year, you get your money back, or you lose, 30% of your investment or something like that, and it wastes a lot of time and stuff like that. But it's hard to lose all of your investment. The only real way you can lose all your investment is if you essentially get screwed by your supplier, which rarely is in the form of them just running away with your money. You'd be able to reverse that. And of course, if you're using payment ways that are protected, then you even are protecting yourself against receiving crap inventory. But yet again, that's why you'll need an inspection, because that's really the only way. Can you be my mentor? That's what I'm doing right here. Get into the Facebook group. If you're not in the Facebook group, it's free. It's in the description. That is the best place to get your questions answered, because what's great about it, I'm more inclined to answer people there because my answers will be seen by more people. So it scales my ability to help people if I take the time to answer your question. Now, I'd love to be able to answer every single one-on-one question, but at this point, it's getting pretty crazy. So if I answer it there, other people can benefit. If you want to send me a private question, you can still try, but I can't always get to it, but you're welcome to. It does not bother me. Just, I'm sorry if I can't get to all of them. But ask in the Facebook group if it's not a private question. That way, if I answer, it can help other people, and other people are going to chime in and answer you as well. So I may not even have to in some cases. So get in there, and there will be other stuff coming soon that will be really interesting for getting super, super detailed help. And you'll be hearing about that soon. Probably most of you know it's coming, but I just haven't officially sort of announced. But something that I put an immense amount of work into that is going to help a lot of people and just scale my ability to help. Because right now I do one-on-one consultation calls. You can pay me for that. People do that. People really love that. But the thing is that that doesn't scale, right? So, eventually I'm going to have to charge even more for that. And then it's at some point it becomes, maybe it wouldn't be worth it to you. The consulting call thing doesn't scale, but for now, if you want to pay me to ask questions for 30 minutes or an hour, you can do that. There's a link in the description. I don't push it aggressively, but it's there for those of you that want it. How can I kill competition before other sellers come in and cut price? I think you're just thinking too defensively based on the few questions you've asked. Like, just launch more products. If you have a successful product, you don't be on defense, be on offense. Go launch more products. Go establish your brand more in that niche such that you will beat your competitors that way. Don't think about trying to like bring your competitors down. I don't even know how you would do that. Just push forward on your own thing. Hey Matt, I budgeted $4,000 for my product to launch, but I am hesitant. It might give me broken cash flow. What do you advise me? Is it enough? I think 4,000 is pretty solid. That's definitely within the range that I'm happy with, though of course more is better. Here's the real truth though. The best place to be would be to have 4,000 put into your product, but you have some money on the back burner such that once you know your product is working, now you could order more, because it is hard to then need more money to reorder and you don't have that money yet. So the best place to be is to like risk 4,000, but then if it's going to be, once you see it's going well, then to be able to dump another 3,000 into reordering or something like that. That's probably the best place to be. But I think 4,000 is totally doable. Honestly, the answer is just do your best. You know, see how well it's selling, see when you can reorder. You just have to be playing it off of what's happening. Thanks so much for your replies, man. You are a huge help. Have a great day, brother. Thanks, Justin. Appreciate it. If you trust your supplier from previous products, would you still recommend an inspection prior to shipping? I would say yes, but in some cases I don't, which could screw me someday. But you know, sometimes a supplier over time, they might cut the quality down and they know you're not inspecting, so they could do something like that. Now, hopefully you have a supplier that understands that you want to work with them long term, so they wouldn't do that. But it can happen. If the supplier knows that you're getting an inspection every time, then they're much less likely to try to pull something on you because they know to expect that inspection. So, yeah. All right, a couple more, and then I will wrap up. Let's get Matt to 10K subs. Remember to subscribe, folks. I appreciate that. Yeah, hit the subscribe if you're watching the replay. I'm sure you guys in here live are already subscribed. I love you guys. Looks like we're gonna hit 10K like within 24 hours. So, I mean, obligatory. Thank you so much for that. That is incredible. Never thought it would happen this quickly. I thought it'd take me a year to get to like 1,000. So I'm tremendously and continuously blown away by your guys' support, and I appreciate it so much. And also hit the like on this video. That actually makes a huge difference. That will really, really help. So if you're getting value out of my videos, all I ever ask is do all that stuff. Click all the things, you know, all that stuff that you can click. Just click on all the clicking things, and then tell your friends. I know you guys have friends that are interested in entrepreneurial content, and just spread the word. Go talk about it. That's all you have to do for me. And I appreciate it. Man, you have life-changing knowledge. My wife and I are waiting on a course. Well, you'll be hearing more soon. There, I said it. 10K subs next day. Yeah, definitely. Should hit it within a day. How many units should I start with? Totally depends on your risk and reward. Here's a big trick. This is a secret here. Nobody talks about this. It's super obvious. It's not really much of a secret, but the thing that matters the most in this, and this is such an obvious detail, but nobody seems to talk about it, is that all that matters here is lead time. How long does it take from the time you order your product until you can actually get it into Amazon? That is what's going to determine how many you order. And then of course, how many you expect to sell. But my answer to this question is going to be dramatically different if you can get your product in 15 days versus 90 days. So you just have to calculate it based on how much you think you can sell and how long does it take you to get your product, and then make your risk according to that. What types of products are good to source from India? Any other countries to source from? India is definitely known for like a few classes of products. So yeah, I mean, we talk about China all the time, but here's the truth. Whatever country your product seems most frequently to come from, that is the country you should source from. Like which country specializes in those types of products. So with India, a lot of fabrics come from there. A lot of like metal items come from there. Sort of more like handcrafted type of items, whereas China is more mass-produced perfection. India is a lot more like hand-woven or handcrafted type of stuff. So yeah, Any other countries to source from? The U.S. If your product seems to, if it's possible to come from the U.S., then I am all for it. Other than that, I mean, those three are the only that I've sourced from: China, U.S., India. But again, if your product seems that they only come from Thailand, then Thailand is your answer. Makes sense to make a brand in a niche. Question is, how do you find multiple products in one niche? It's hard enough to find one. Well, here's the thing is that if you have one successful one, you are buying yourself the ability to launch more difficult products, because now you can leverage that initial success into the next one. So you can get into harder products. What do you think of Jordan? Never heard of that guy. Sorry. How do you ship your items? I'm stuck on this right now. Please help. How much time we got? I'll wrap this up in a few minutes, but I'll give a quick answer to this one. Here's a broad thing. Sometimes my answer to you guys is different than what do you personally do myself. So personally, I use freight forwarders to ship full containers across the ocean. That's not what you're going to do for your first order. So for your first order, you're probably going to use like air express shipping, meaning DHL, UPS, FedEx, Air, if your product is not super heavy. If it is super heavy, then talk to a freight forwarder and have the freight forwarder manage the sea shipping for you. That's really honestly all you need to know. I mean, that's a simplified version, but it really is as simple as that. Thank you guys for all the kind words. I think people subscribe for your haircut. Yeah, I'm coming out with a course, how to have my haircut. It's going to be $2,000. So, shout out to Sammer in the chat. Yeah, what's up, Sammer? Your channel has been popping. I am super impressed. Matt, in a recent video, you mentioned that you brand your products. Are you simply sourcing your products from Alibaba supplier, slapping your logo on them, or something else? It's that at the core, it's that. But it includes, you know, branding your product like in a custom package. Maybe it includes, you know, engraved logos, or actually making the product different colors, different accessories, different tweaks to the physical product. I do that at my level, but like your first one might be more simple, but then you might roll those funds into something more involved. Any favorite categories for beginners? I wouldn't think about it that way. Think about it product first, category second. Doesn't matter. Though I would probably say stay out of like supplements and stuff like that. Top 3 favorite books. You know, I need to like revisit some of my favorites, because there's some that were so influential to me at the beginning, but like I wonder if I were to reread them now, if I would have the same sort of impression. But ones that were really important to me in the beginning were the 3 I mentioned earlier: 4-Hour Workweek, Personal MBA, and Millionaire Fastlane are 3 that come to mind. But I don't know if, I mean, it might have just been the time and the place, because I was a noob back then. Like, I don't know if those would be so good to me now. But, you know, I'd highly recommend Ryan Holiday books. I love Ryan Holiday. He is super inspirational to me. Definitely, yeah, I mean, any Ryan Holiday book for sure. Any Tim Ferriss book. Yeah, I mean, those are the ones that come to mind, but I need to dig into some more as well. How do you leverage the success from a good product? Simply people will recognize your brand name. It gets a little more complicated than that, but you know, you can do cross promotions. You know, maybe you start building an audience around that product, and you can market to the same people. You can do things to get your item to show up on the same listing. There are people that will just click into your brand name. Your brand name will eventually start getting word of mouth. You know, one of my most like proud things in my business is that, well, for one brand in particular, that's the only one that I check this for, is that I literally get organic searches for my brand name, like a pretty considerable amount, which means people are talking about my product and then typing in my brand name. So, you know, that's the type of stuff you can look forward to, and that's why it's so important to build a product line. Because what if someday Amazon is too saturated? Everyone always asks, you know, is Amazon saturated? First off, no, I'm continuously blown away by the amount of opportunity. But what if someday it is? Like, those of you that build up product lines are going to have, like, you're going to just be set. I'm going to just wrap up there. Great questions, guys. Hope you liked it. If you are new here, if you're watching the replay, hit subscribe, hit the bell. Hitting the bell, then you'll know when I do more live Q&As, such that you can be in here and getting your questions asked live. Any suggestions, any questions, I'm always reading the comments. I pretty much get to every single one. If I don't, I can almost guarantee that I did see it. So give me your video ideas. Let me know what you think. One thing I'm thinking about doing is a podcast. Let me know what you think about that. I would love to start a podcast in the next couple months, just something that's been on my mind a lot. So let me know what you think about that. Any ideas, any potential guests or things like that. I want to come out the gate strong, no just like crappy stuff. If I do it, I'm going to do it really serious. So let me know what you think about that. Like I said, click all the things, subscribe, leave comments, follow me on Instagram, and I will see you guys in the next one.